women and child abuse, for me, it's a manifestation. We grapple with the real issue. What causes this behavior? What causes this manifestation? We ought to be dealing with the real root cause.
Someone in an abusive home, sometimes they just want to be heard. Two of them took my running shoes and said, come on, you've got to do this. This is what you love. And then I started running again. It's the best thing that ever happened to me because I got my personality and I found myself. The Lighthouse Run started the morning of the 17th of November, 17 minutes past 11, at Umhlanga Ridge CMH. Yay! Chevrolet and General Motors being our main sponsor, and they provided us with vehicles as support vehicles for the route. And we ran from CMH Umhlanga Ridge all the way down to the Umhlanga Rocks Lighthouse, physically touched it and turned around, and then we went all the way out to Oshaka Marine World for day one.
I'm feeling very good, thank you. Ready for the rest.
It's tiring.
Yeah, just quite difficult. We knew Durban was going to be difficult from a traffic point of view, but it all worked out well. Everybody's safe, everybody's here, leg one is done. 4 women running 42 k's per day for 42 days, touching 42 lighthouses, shedding light on abuse.
It started in 2008 on an early morning run with an idea.
And we decided we want to do a charity run.
I mentioned to them that I one day want to do a charity run, and the both of them said, yeah, no problem, we'll do it.
She then asked me whether I would like to maybe be part of the Lighthouse concept, and I said yes, I would like to. Obviously also not knowing what I was putting myself into.
It was more like just talking and having a big dream, and you don't really think that this dream will eventually come true. I thought it was a great idea and wanted to be part of it.
We are running from Umhlanga Rocks all the way to Paternoster over a period of 6 weeks.
We looked at the Umhlanga Rocks Lighthouse and from there it flowed all the way to Paternoster in the Western Cape.
4 runners, 42 kilometers each day relay.
42 lighthouses in total.
It's from here straight down at the
Putting the logistics together, that was quite tricky and challenging. I was responsible for the safety of the runners. I was responsible for making sure that everything happened every day.
And with that, we've got a community service team consisting of a psychologist.
I don't think that we anticipated in any way the dynamics that would evolve in a team like this.
A pastor who speaks about fathership.
To know the runners and them sharing their own personal lives with me, I think that's a treasure for me.
And an expert on relationship and conflict management.
To assist psychologically with the rebuilding of self-esteem, because people with high self-esteem can go back into the workplace and they can carve out an existence for themselves.
And I think through them, us creating the awareness with the running, and through them really going out and working with people and speaking to people in hospitals, in schools, wherever we get, we are reaching out.
Luckily we had Chevrolet on board from the beginning, so having access to vehicles to transport the people and all our equipment that we needed for the trip was a great blessing.
Baie vroue is so ge-abused, maar hulle praat nie.
You don't tell anybody around you what's happening at home.
Want wat gaan die buurman sê? Wat gaan die mense sê?
You sort of hide it away.
Jy's nie die enigste een met wie dit gebeur het nie. Onthou net, dit is nie jou skuld wat met jou gebeur het nie.
Dit is reggie. We need to get to the point where we can talk about this.
It's about having those conversations.
That we're dealing with the pain and the issues.
Ons het die mans nodig om ons spesiaal te laat voel nie.
'n Mens hoef nie te doen wat 'n ouetjie vir jou sê nie. Wat jy moet doen nie vir al verkeerde dinge.
En maak hulle nie skuld daaraan het nie.
Dit is nie altyd maklik nie, né?
Ons vroumense het regte en ons moet opstaan teen die wat ons hier maak.
Soms dan weet 'n mens die God en soms dan gaan nie net aan.
We need to get people to stand up.
Daar is 'n alternatief.
As jy iets oorgekom het, moenie bly lê nie, staan op. Daar's lewe, daar's hoop.
It's right to stand up.
There are going to be days where it's going to be bleak. There's going to be days where it's going to be tough.
Hulle moet net weet hulle sal survive.
Daardie stukkie wat met my gebeur het, dis nie wie ek is nie.
Hulle moet nie glo in hulle self en
They shouldn't tolerate abuse long term in a relationship.
as jy altyd gaan swak wees, hy nooit sterk raak nie.
But you got to hang in there, you got to fight, you got to jostle until you accomplish the goal. And from the motto that we have at the Lighthouse Run of shedding light on abuse, there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
It so happened that there is a KwaZulu-Natal official race this morning, so we thought, well, let's join in and let's just have fun with the other runners. And we all ran the Bluff Vets race and we just had fun, and we ran past the Bluff Lighthouse called Cooper Lighthouse. I climbed over the fence and I actually touched it. So far I've got 44 kilometers already on my leg in fighting against women and child abuse. My psychologist said to me, I must go back to the house where the last time I saw my dad. There was 3 bedrooms. My mom and dad had the 1 bedroom. My brother's was right across them and ours was right next to them, my sister and me. The house has got a lot of memories, good ones and bad ones. But that's the house where I lost my dad. The one that I love, but the one who beat up my mom. And a lot of the beating happened in the house. For a long time in my life, that's the age that I thought I was. Even though I was a grown woman, I thought I was 9 years old. And it's also the house where he shot at my mom. He just randomly shot at her. I'm so scared to think if my mom died that day, what would have happened to me and my brother and my sister. So the house has got a lot of meaning for me. It's also the house where I had my first dog. We need to see the positive, that we can at least get to the point that we're dealing with the pain and the issues and the stuff, and inspire people and say, you know what, it hurts, but the hurt can be positive. As we left Greenpoint Lighthouse, I just heard brum brum, and I knew this is a bike. And as I turned around, he came on 1 wheel, and my brother was the wheelie king. My brother passed away in January in a motorcycle accident. He used to really like crazy, and it was just too much. I just couldn't take it. I just burst out into tears. It was just so emotional, and it was as if he said to me, I'm here. You know, I'm watching you.
And it's unfortunate that at times men can actually brag and believe the myth that they're superior because of their biological makeup.
Jy weet hoekom sien mense kans om vir mense seer te maak, want aan ons is die, as jy 'n vrou kyk, ja, is die vat plek om 'n vrou mense seer te maak, want ons is baie sag en ja.
Ja, ek was abused deur my kind se pa, dis hoekom ek nou weer hier is.
The abuse comes in when we want the position, but without the responsibility.
My pa, hy het altyd 'n probleem met my ma. Ek weet nie wat dit my ma gesondig het.
Ek en my pa het nog nie 'n goeie verhouding gehad. Hy het altyd vir my gesê ek is sy kind en stuff.
Toe ek swanger begin word, toe begin dinge skeefloop. Dis totally skeefloop.
As hy 'n ding sê, dan hy sal dit doen. Hy sal my kind vat en hy sal sy kop teen die muur slaan. Dit is hoekom ek weggebreek het van hom af.
Ek het al vir my ma opgestaan, maar ek wou, maar ek is nie sterk genoeg nie.
Ek het nie veilig by die gevoel nie. As die boyfriend wil seker doen dat en jy weet is iets verkeerd, dan voel 'n mens net nee man, ek gaan net maar doen dan net, gaan my slaan. Van die redes hoekom my pa die lang mes gekoop het, want hy het gedink my ma hou ander mansmense aan.
Hy het vir my ma gesê sy vry rond. Sy het klomp mans en dit is nie so nie.
In die nagte aan te stemme gehoor aan vat gryp jy die mes en hardloop jy uit by die deur en dan wil hy die stem hoor wat hy nog gehoor het wil steek en as hy terugkom aan druk hy choke aan my ma en hou die mes voor haar.
The moment he had alcohol in his body, he was a monster.
Anybody can make a child, but not anybody can be a father, a dad. To me, he's never been a father or a dad or anything.
Toe het hulle ma met die 3 kindertjies na aangejaag gekom. En ek sê oom Chris moet vir die motorhuis oopmaak, dat sy die motor instoot, want die man wil hulle doodskiet. Ja, en so het hulle nou daar by ons beland.
En ek weet nie van een keer wat daai 3 kinders iets verkeerd gedoen het, selfs nie in ander mense se oë.
Ons sê altyd, hulle ma verdien 'n monument. Vir wat sy, vir die opvoeding wat sy vir hulle gegee het. Want sy het op 'n stadium 3 werke gehad.
En as hulle van hulle pa onthou, was dit net die negatief of die raas en die verkeerde ding nou net, wat 'n kind nie wil hê nie, wat 'n kind nie moet kry nie.
He was like his dad. If he told you to do a thing, you had to do it, or otherwise it was, there was no option of not saying I won't do it or not. I had to see all this fighting. I had to experience all the fighting. I was hit. So the way, for me, my mind just blocked everything out. It just, so that I could cope. Otherwise, I don't think I would have been able to cope.
Toe hulle die oggend daar by my kom, toes die klein boetie by hulle. Toe was die ou bekkie so stikkend geslaan deur die pa.
Some mornings after he's beaten my mom up, locked her outside, she had to sleep in the outside toilet some nights. He woke up the next morning saying, "Where were you?" Not knowing a thing what he did.
It's like people think it's an ongoing process. Nobody find me, nobody knows that I does that thing. So dit gaan net aan en aan en aan en.
One night came home with a lady with red hair, and he locked me in the room, and this lady was having a ball in my house, and I couldn't do anything because he was busy with, me and the kids were locked into a room.
Daar was soveel keer dat ek opgesluit was soos 'n gevangene.
Hy het my baie geslaan en my gesteek met die mes. En het my lelike woorde aangesê, my lelike het my afgekraak.
Altyd het ek nog ongemaklik gevoel as ek by hom was, maar as gevolg van my omstandighede het ek maar gebly by dit.
En ek ben gedreig ook, dus toe ek nooit kon geloof het tussen my seer gemaak het nie. En ek het altyd gedreig.
When self-esteem suffers, people become economically inactive. When they're economically inactive, they can't look after themselves anyway, and that ties them back to this abusive relationship.
For me, running is almost my everything.
To run in the middle of Transkei, in the middle of Africa, or in the middle of nowhere.
To be here, to run on the coast, to experience the feelings, the emotions, not only our own, but everybody around us. That's awesome.
Well, I could see these uphills. I could see now it's downhill. I can predict my running.
It was very good, very hot and humid today, but still I enjoyed thoroughly.
After my first running barefoot, I'm sure it will be okay. Perhaps the adrenaline helps. It was my first running ever barefoot, and even walking barefoot.
And when my dad passed away, it was like we were a square. Mom on the one point, brother on the one point, sister on the one, and me on the one. So we were a very close-knit family. We formed a square. My brother passed away. Now we're a triangle. At the Mbashi Dweza Lighthouse, you see it from afar, the little red cap. And as I approached the lighthouse and I saw it, there was a square foot. It formed a square with a big rock in the middle. I saw myself in the lighthouse with the 4 pillars and my rock, my husband, in the middle. And it was just too much.
Quite an emotional time, feeling a process where people find themselves in the purpose of why they run. The girls are doing a phenomenal job and creating the awareness and telling their story.
We had 4 vehicles from Chevrolet. The runners had a Chevrolet Trailblazer, and that would be their vehicle that has all their sustenance in it. And as they rotated, they would obviously get ready in the vehicle, and then 2 vehicles would follow them all the time. So there'd be a vehicle in front of the runners and then a vehicle behind from a protection point of view on the busy roads. Yeah, we also had 2 Chevrolet utility buckies, the Youth Force buckies, and they're involved in community projects where they help communities with different needs.
Everything starts with an idea, but you've got to have a backup team.
We are the support team. We're doing, I think, a marvelous job. We're supporting the women runners, as you can see. So, yippee! Lighthouse Run!
Mense is verbitterd, mense is kwaad. Die rede hoekom mense soms baie kwaad is, jy gaan lê die saak en die polisie kom en jy kry dalk 'n SMS of party kry glad niks nie wat sê daar was te min getuienisse en obvious gaan ek kwaad voel want hoe kon daar niks getuienis nie? Dit het met my gebeur. Hy het dit met my aangevang.
So there's a lot of issues I think that I think we need to bring to the table, have discussions, and I think this would probably also create influence with legislators, the kind of laws that we're coming up with.
Hulle soms is met die polisievrou wil praat wat miskien die docket moet doen en hom vra nie, want daar's baie vrae wat hulle nie vir die detective sê nie, maar hulle sê dit vir my. En dan moet ek sê vir haar, ek moet ongelukkig vir die detective sê, want dit gaan die saak makliker maak en gouer maak. Want goedjies wat jy vir hulle nie sê en vir my sê nie kon dalkies baie belangrik wees.
Ek het die staatsdiens gebruik, ek het polisiekantoor toe gegaan en die polisie het my hiernatoe gebring.
As ons gemeenskap net meer voor 'n dag wil gaan en vir die polisie te gaan sê, ek weet van my buurman, ek weet van my buurvrou, ek weet wat hy ma met hy kinders deurmaak. As die neighbors net baie wil betrokke raak.
Because it affects one family or it affects one person
then it affects the family, then it affects the people on the street, then it affects the whole community, the whole town, the whole country, and so on it goes.
It is maybe not necessarily the people that is directly affected, but also the ripple effect that abuse has on the family.
In our society today, you either are infected or affected. You would know somebody that has gone through something like that.
Ek dink tog die polisie se hande is afgekap. Ek sal meer sê die mense in die gemeenskap. Ons het oë en ons het ore. Ons moet oë en ore vir die polisie hê. Maar in hierdie dekade is mense baie bang. Hulle wil nie vorendag gaan nie, want wat gaan die buurman sê? Wat gaan die mense sê? So what? Staan op, jy het iets gedoen. Jy het 'n lewe gered. Jy kon iemand help. Môre kon dit my kind wees, dit kan my familie wees. Never mind wat hy sê, jy het iemand gehelp, jy het 'n lewe gered.
So it's something that begins small, but it ends up very big. So, and no one should go through something like that.
Since I've been a little girl, I really wanted to visit Bird Island.
The highlight was definitely Bird Island.
As I got in the car, I heard a helicopter. And I said to him, hang on. I said to him, a helicopter in this little town? He says, the helicopter is really for you. We're going to Bird Island. And that was the highlight of my life. You see the island from afar. It's like you're dreaming.
It looks like a white carpet full of birds. It's amazing.
And when we stepped foot on the island, it's as if the birds, they just flew up. And then you see that lighthouse with the white cross and you think, how can people hide such a beautiful building away from anybody to see? That was the most amazing experience ever.
It was amazing.
There's like 100 who set foot on that island. And I'm now one of those. It was just unreal.
In Port Elizabeth, where Chevrolet has their head office, they involved us in some initiatives that they already do. We hosted a Christmas party at the Mission Vale School, which was absolutely fantastic. Seeing all those kids and being part of something that our sponsor already is involved in was fantastic.
Okay, nou gooi je die wit in. Okay, daar sê in die sakkie gooi. Kan jy sien nou jy twee doekies? Ah, daar sê Lindy. Jong. Waar wie doekies nou?
Ons het 4 Moeder Kersfees.
Wonderful. We're doing something different today. We're just giving presents, just having fun with the kids, no running. Oh, thank goodness.
Was je zoet geweest die jaar? Was jij?
Een zoetfeest.
Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Oh, their faces is just the way they light up.
En dit laat mense net weer dink waarvoor mense eintlik moet dankbaar wees as jy die kindertjies sien en hulle kleertjies sien en
And also just the way they react to the way you touch them and hug them. It's very special. Very, very special.
Dit laat jou net dink en dit laat jou na jou eie lewe kyk en besef hoeveel jy het om voor dankbaar te wees.
We have a team that is made up from diverse walks of life.
The experience so far is nothing that I've imagined.
Now, on day 19, I can actually say that it's been tough.
I think the dynamics that I have encountered has been quite remarkable.
There's really much more about Lighthouse Run than just the running. Realizing that each and every one of us is so different.
The dynamics that came out was absolutely, to me as a psychologist, quite interesting.
You know, once we finished, we'd have to blog and get pictures together and write stories and get hold of the journalists for the next day. So the days were quite long and I think emotionally very challenging for everybody.
You have never done a long run like this over 6 weeks. This is a first experience. I felt very emotional this morning in the sense that I saw children, because of the limitations that they have, where there's very little in terms of what they can look forward to in life.
It was an eye-opener for me. I never realized that there's so much abuse going on.
The type of clothing that they wear on a day when it was quite cold and rainy, so it really touched my heart.
I'm in awe, I'm humbled, because life is so fast and we don't always realize how privileged we are.
It was nice to come in from a corporate point and to do something for those kids.
It opened my eyes, especially in the communities where we were going to. It has been a life-changing experience.
What concerns me about that, it is sometimes just a once-off. Maybe help them to devise more sustainable plans.
And today is to say thank you. Thank you for standing up and say that I'm going to look after my child and I'm going to protect my child.
Abuse is much bigger than anybody can ever imagine, and there's just not enough help.
KZN has a different context. You know, that's really rape case environments, all that kind of things, abuse, young children, particularly the girl child.
No child should go through something like that kind of abuse.
And then when you go to the Eastern Cape, it's more poverty, you know, kind of inflicted, and then causes people to go into the streets.
Armoede speel 'n baie groot rol in Bredasdorp.
Ons het nie alles wat my hart begeer het op daai tyd nie. En ongelukkig het hy gevoel dat hy mag gebruik omdat hy geld het.
Hy het gesê, "Oké, ek het vir jou geïndetein, nou is dit payback time." Dit is waaroor dit eintlik gaan.
Ongelukkig het hy dit reg gekry om my met geld om te koop, kom ek sê dit so.
Cape Town also, you see a blend on element of drug-related kind of things.
Veral hier in die Weskaap, waar ons ook 'n baie hoë syfer het van tikmisbruik, dwelmmisbruik en vers babas.
My pa het begin tik, hy het verkeerde vriende uitgehang en hy het baie my ma gedreig met 'n mes en hy het my gitaar wat ek by Elvis Blue gekry wat hy vir ons gesponsor het, hy verkoop vir tik.
I mean, there are 3 provinces, and when you are looking at them in terms of what kind of solutions do you want to bring to them, you've got to look at them differently because of the context.
We're standing on the old Van Stadens River Bridge looking up at the new bridge, This bridge is known as the Bridge of Death in the Eastern Cape. When economic bad times hit the Eastern Cape, a lot of suicides happen here, and also a lot of suicides because of abuse and lack of self-esteem. Suicide is such a big problem here that Lifeline has actually installed a permanent telephone on top of this bridge. You get to the bridge, there's a telephone with a sign that says, please call us before you do anything. And quite a few lives have been saved by Lifeline here in Port Elizabeth from suicides at the Van Stadens River Bridge.
This is the nicest lighthouse I've ever seen.
This is the closest to crying I've ever been. Oh, wow.
So halfway, we now past the point of no return.
If there's a breach between father and son, where a father was abused and or is abusive to his son and or is also abusive to the mother, under pressure, when that boy grows up to be a young man, he will always default under pressure to what he saw.
You make the same choices and you become what your parents are unless you make a definite decision to not become it and to turn around.
Kids don't listen to what we say. Kids do what we do.
The way I grew up, you were a child, but you weren't really allowed to be a child. And I can't explain it to you, but you had to grow up fast.
Because I think he was abused when he was a child.
He had a very, very, very strict dad.
You know, like my way or the highway, and it was strict. And I find traits like that in me, and I sometimes want to change it and I can't.
If I think back, he just projected that what he learned in his house back onto us.
Ons kinders verval in die routine of in die sirkel van ook betrokke raak in verhoudings waar gesinsgeweld is.
So if you're an abused person, you're also going to perpetuate abuse. You're going to produce abuse. But unless you deal with the abuse mindset, then you can reverse the issues that we're talking about.
As parents, we need to speak to our kids as young as they are. We need to say to them, don't fight. It's not good to fight. It's not good to say the wrong things. It's not good to do this. It's not the do's and don'ts.
Elke keer as ek ander pa sien wat met hulle dogters, tieners soos ek sien loop of met hulle openlike verhoudings het en alles net goed saam met hulle kinders en ek net gewonder hoekom is dit ek? Hoekom het ek so 'n pa gekry nie?
But society plays a role in how we bring up our kids.
Ek sou baie graag my dogter wil leer om te weet, mami sal nie altyd daar wees nie. En te leer en te kyk en na oop te maak vir die tipe dinge.
And when they come and say, well, by accident they saw something pornographic, we don't turn them away and get all hysterical and whatever it is and saying, let's engage this thing and let me give you resources or solutions in saying, yes, these things are there, but they're not in the appropriate places and they're not for you from that appropriate time.
From how small they are, we need to teach them. It's not about you are a girl, this is your boundaries. These are not your boundaries. We are free, you can do and you can be whoever you want to be.
If we get ourselves right, we get our families right, we get our boy children and our girl children right, then we're creating something that's sustainable for the future, for the next generation.
Four more days to go.
Can't believe we're this far.
And last of all, I shall go to Jerusalem. I shall see you. Lighthouse Run.
Dis nie 'n maklike pad om te loop nie. Ek dink die eerste stap is om te sê maar ek kan dit nie altyd alleen doen nie.
Mense wat in daai omstandighede is wat alleen voel, wat bang is hulle ouers gaan nie aan hulle luister nie. Ek sê dat hulle kerkpastoor of hulle jeugleiers sal praat.
As jou begin reg is, dan gaan die einde ook reg wees.
Ons sien al hoe meer vrouens wat begin opstaan en sê, maar ek gaan myself beveilig en die verantwoordelikheid vat om na my kinders te kyk.
En ek sal sê, kom ons stap 'n pad.
Ons sien vrouens wat kom vir berading en die pad stap.
Jy stap met iemand te pad, jy vat sy hand, jy los hom nooit halfpad nie.
En wat jy kan sien, hulle is trots en hulle loop regop, want hulle het self daai besluit gemaak van ek gaan 'n ander pad loop en hulle gaan self die keuses maak wat reg is vir my.
En ek dink daai gaan môre encourage wees vir mense om dan op te staan om die lewe vierkantig in die oë te kyk.
Al is dit dat jy raad soek of dalk net wil betrokke raak om elders te help. Elke dorp het een of ander NGO. Mag dit weet kinder- en gesinsorg, Bedisa, ACVV, kontak hulle en gaan praat.
There's going to be days where it's going to be tough, but you got to hang in there, you got to fight, you got to jostle until you accomplish the goal. There's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, well, as part of the Chevrolet Youth Force being at the Scourge home today is a privilege to be on Christmas Day, putting something back. Most people see Christmas as family time, and this is no different, spending time with the families that through circumstances beyond their own making they're in.
En veral oor die Kerstyd. Jy voel alleen, jou gevoel van geborgenheid is soveel minder. Want hier sit ek op 'n plek waar ek nie altyd wou gewees het nie, of wat ek selfs nie gedink het ek ooit gaan wees nie. En hier kom mense in wat sê, maar jy's spesiaal. God is lief vir jou. En weet jy, ek het dit gemaak. En ek kan vandag opstaan en sê, daar's 'n toekoms, daar's hoop. Ek dink is wonderlik.
Ek voel om weer die lewe in die oë te kan kyk.
Vandat ek jonk is, kan ek aan my voel dat ek het by verander en ek voel ook baie veilig. Yes.
Ek gaan op jaar om my kop hoog op te hou en ek bid baie vir myself en ek vat die jaar met die Japes geld gaan om my krag te gee dat ek via my verkeerde persone die mekaar kan raak.
Ek weet, ek sal nie weer in so 'n verhouding betrokke raak nie. Ek sal sorg daarvoor.
Nou dat ek weet wat ek tyd al wou gehad het en meer nou weet wat ek steeds wil hê. Beplan ek het nie my matriek gedoen nie. Beplan ek om my matriek te kry en Ek wil graag wil ek is 'n maatskaplike werker wees.
Ek wil nou vorentoe kyk. Ek is al baie jonk, baie drome. En my droom is eendag om my eie besigheid te hê, my eie salon. Ek is baie goed in hare doen.
My visie eintlik wat ek al gesien het, is dat ek is 'n jong meisie wat baie mense na God toe lei.
They're now not happy with the running on a tar road with some environmental issues. They've given us access to the lighthouse so we can drive there, but this is all about running. So
It's just such a privilege being on the island here. It's more than enough anyway. So
they're still trying to get us some more access to run on the island.
En baie mense het nie die guts om op te staan nie.
Hulle is te bang. Hulle is nie sterk genoeg nie. Want miskien word hulle gedreig, ook soos ek was gedreig gewees.
And I always thought, it will get better and it will get better. But it didn't. You fool yourself.
Hulle is so gezip en dit maak vir my so bietjie seer.
It's about having those discussions. It's about having those conversations.
But for a very good purpose, you know, so that people know that they're not alone, so that people know that this does happen. And it just creates awareness. And when there's awareness, there will be the gathering of knowledge, and with that, people are better armed to deal with situations like that.
As gevolg van die feit dat die mense meer weet van hulle eie regte en hulle eie verantwoordelikheid om te kyk na hulle self, begin al hoe meer vrouens opstaan en sê, maar daar is 'n alternatief.
Ander jong mense wil ek bemoedig en vir hulle aanspoor en vir hulle net die boodskap uitdra vir hulle sê dat ons het nie mans nodig om ons spesiaal te laat voel as ons nie seker is wat ons regtig in die lewe wil hê of wat ons in die lewe nog nie in die lewe het nie.
Ons vroumense het regte en ons moet opstaan teen die wat ons hier maak.
Vir tieners soos ek wil sê hulle moet nooit alleen voel nie, want in huis omstandighede wat hulle is, God is met hulle.
It's right to stand up and that they need to keep themselves safe, obviously, but they shouldn't tolerate abuse long term in a relationship.
Ek wil hulle moet sterk, hulle moet nie glo in hulle self en weet dat hulle kan opstaan teen die persone wat hulle seer maak,
dat hulle kan sê daardie stukkie wat met my gebeur het, dis nie wie ek is nie. Dis nie wat vir die wêreld gaan sê wie ek is nie. Wie ek is hierdie sterk vrou wat op die ou einde na myself gekyk het en gesê tot hier toe en nie verder nie.
En hulle moet net weet hulle sal survive.
So I think we need to get people to stand up and begin to talk about, thinking about these things.
Ek is maar 21. Ek kan seker maak dat my net hier stop en nie verder gaan. Dat ek moet 51 sê, maar ek lei nog steeds 'n abused lewe nie.
Yeah, this is the last day. Can't believe we're here.
Without you guys, this would not be possible. So go out there today and really run and think about what this is really for. The route's a very difficult one. It's straight down into Paternoster, left where it says Titi's Bai. I'm not sure if that means anything. The GPS will take you right there. You'll be following the red car today, and then the last 3.5 kilometers is the dirt road up to the lighthouse.
Woo! Thank you, very good. Woo!
happiness, so much joy.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
This is the end of the Lighthouse Run.
It's been a race of endurance. It's been a race of perseverance.
It has really exceeded our expectations from an awareness point of view. More people know about this thing than we thought. Rita, Michelle, Lindsay and Lena, they did us proud. They went out there every single day pounding the road.
I'm really happy and I've completed it and I'm proud about myself, and I'm very sad it's over though.
The message of the campaign is shedding light on abuse. But I want to leave you with something. That there's a light in each and every one of us.
And they've carried the torch and said, here is the light. And that's what this race has been about.
General Motors, via our Chevrolet brand, believes in giving back, and this is just a very small way of us putting something back into the community next year as well, Herman, so you can count on us in terms of that.
There is a cause to fight this peril, this animal, this monster called women and child abuse.
It was tiring. I was tired. I felt run down. Emotionally, I felt more tired than physically, because as you train and as you run, your body gets fitter. So physically you get stronger, but sometimes emotionally you get weaker. And it was tough, eh? It was really tough. It wasn't easy. It was hard.
Yeah, phase 1 has been a massive success. There's a lot of brand recognition. People know who we are, they know where we're from, they know about the Lighthouse Run.
I would like to see the Lighthouse Run going forward.
The hard work starts with phase 2. Establishing that central call center number, establishing the network of lawyers, of psychologists, of safe houses, linking in with current networks, and going forward that way.
The Lighthouse its initiative was set up about to galvanize or energize or make active citizenry of South Africans. And I think that as a goal within itself is something that has been catalytic of our approach in terms of getting out to the media, getting through to the population and saying, let's talk about it.
The directors of the Lighthouse Run, Eugene, Gouritzmond and Rita, they will drive the project going further.
Would I do it again? Hell yes, in a flash, definitely. No matter how hard it was, I'll do it again. Why? Because I've learned that I can do difficult things. And what I want to say to each and every person in an abusive relationship or abusive situation is, do something. Get out of there. The hurt you're feeling is your family members who really, really care for you, feel that hurt as well. Please, please do something. And if you're not in an abusive situation, reach out to someone. Because if we recognize abuse and we act on it, we can make a difference.
Run past in the front. Got you.
The last guy looks after itself. Always. It's just so sweet. Anyway, done.